Okay, so I'm gonna like provide commentary of what's going on. So, yeah, yeah, I was like trying out just a wacky build, just a wacky fun build called a Tank Galio, where I'm like relying on like nothing but tank items.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And oh, well, hold on, come on, there we go. Yeah, so it was like pretty good actually. Like I kind of wish I recorded recording together, but I didn't. I decided to because I was like, oh, this wasn't gonna do well, and I was like, realized, oh, I actually went pretty well. Like I ended up getting like really crazy tanky, and basically what's a build was inspired by both by the latest skill cap, like showing off like for like next season, just go Tank Galio because it'll be really good against the AP assassins like Akali, which you'll see very soon. And yeah, this is like, as you may know, this is a bronze, and yeah, and eventually I'll start. And it gets really well, and I was having a lot of fun just being literally. I barely do damage. I only do like no more than 200 damage, at most. But I'm just like, I'm just hard to kill. I'm just a walking, literally a colossus, and they're just chipping me. And you'll see why.
My wings, your face.
Oh yeah, here we go. So I was like just basically just poking out, just trying to get farm. I was kind of behind for a while because Yakali wasn't being a bit pushy, as well as having to help my teammates with my ultimate, but eventually, late game, I became an absolute colossus. Oh yeah, and this part, I don't know why Master Yi decided to go all of it. I think it was like hoping to like catch the enemy jungler. Thankfully, I thought Yakali would go over, but thankfully she was actually just hiding in the brush trying to get me out. I'm so glad this wasn't a Smurf Akali. Like, oh lord, Smurf Akalis, you just can't stop them. But no, it's also a normal bronze Akali. Ooh, I don't know what they're doing up there. Yeah, I obviously wasn't gonna help him because I was too busy making sure my lane doesn't get killed. And yeah, it just both died. Yeah, and unfortunately, spoiler alert, the Kale was basically dead weight in this team, unfortunately. The Kale on my team. Like, she just kept feeding. She was like, feeding. Well, luckily, and she ended up AFKing like near the end, and you'll see like much later. But thankfully, it didn't. Well, it wasn't enough to like completely push us over the edge of our team. But yeah, it was annoying that the Kale just fed. Thankfully, you'll see Tank Galio was amazing. So yeah, I just kept pushing. Okay. Yeah, luckily for me, I think I killed Yakali. Wait, I think so? No, not yet. But yeah, that's why I'm wondering. Yeah, there's a good reason why I chose Ignite, because the page I looked at suggested Ignite because understandably, I don't really get AP. I don't really have a lot of AP on me. So I just have Ignite just as a... Basically, I'm lucky I could wipe out someone. And I think I do. Or no, I don't. Not yet. Oh. Oh, maybe. And there I do. Yep, I did. Yes. That was amazing. And yeah, go back and I think start building my jock shows. Yep, I'm starting to build up.
Shut down.
And yeah, it was pretty amazing. But lucky for my team, as you're seeing here, the Jinx is doing really well. Like, she ends up basically carrying us. Her and Velux. And I guess that makes, I guess, to my advantage, being a tank, it really does help the Jinx become a threat. Yeah, no. I wasn't gonna go over. Yeah, they took the dragon. If Master Yi was there, I would have happily just ulted over, but unfortunately he wasn't there. So it wasn't really worth wasting it. Ooh, no, I didn't die. Well, thankfully I didn't, yeah. Like, I got a feeling Galio might end up becoming... I don't know if it would. It's just an idea, but I think Tank Galio will probably see a good amount of play when Season 14 comes out. As ever, someone who's just, you know, casual rank. It was really fun time.
Shut down.
I don't know what they're doing. No, unfortunately I really wasn't gonna go helping them to kill. Because, as you usually discover, she just feeds. And all I know is that you really, as a mid laner, you really shouldn't be roaming to lanes that are just doing poorly. I mean, you could, if you could see an advantage, like if they're not doing absolute, but if they're like absolute, just feeding, just a feeding ape, pardon my French, like just a crazy monkey just feeding. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and the thing is, like, while I didn't hit the Diana, it is advisable to remember as a good full of thumb is that his ultimate will provide a magic shield upon like jumping on an enemy. So you don't actually have to be there to activate the shield. The shield will activate, and then once you come in, it's just like a bonus slam if you happen to hit, but you will provide that shield. So that's why I ended up getting that assist. And I was like, ah, felt pretty good. Yeah, nah. I think like if I'm going to verse Akali, I'll probably always pick up just Galio. Because he's just so good against her. Oh yeah, nah. She got me there. Yeah, nah, I was unlucky. I'm back. I mean, Master Yi was a bit iffy, but he does have his moments where he does really help. But yeah, but unfortunately for the Kale, like, I mean, I don't. I mean, Yi could probably just help her because, as we understand, like making your way up to top is
Blue team double kill.
it's a nightmare if your
Blue team
top teammate feeds like really hard. So I was just basically, I'll use my ult. Basically my strategy was I use ult if I am in ranged and I see a good table turning opportunity. Mind you, I'm not a Galio expert, but he is pretty simple to use, like a lot of Demacian champs. His gameplay is very straightforward. You just poke with Wind Blast. If your enemy is gonna really engage, you just tackle them and just simply put up your shields and taunt them in while using your passive. I mean, your passive is like really good. Like it does a decent amount of damage even if you don't build AP on him. And yeah, I think poor Kale was like asking for assists, but Master Yi was just not helping her. But then again, I can't really blame Master Yi. Is she forgot that I think she forgot she was a scaling champ. Like she has to like play slowly. Like she can't just go aggressive into someone like Camille, who is, as many knows, is Camille can literally just, if she has an opportunity, she can easily just dive in and just snowball. And it's really bad if you can't control the lane as a Kale. I think I ult in. Yep, I do. Ooh, this was a decent turnaround. I mean, I didn't get everyone, but I was pretty proud of that ult. Like, I think, I definitely feel that this season is really being kind to Galio. This new season, when it comes up. Like, Galio is just a champ that you barely see anyone play. So I'm like, I'm happy I at least know how to use him. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately this Camille was too good. Just too good for this Kale. I'm pretty sure someone called, I'm pretty sure it was like a video by, I think it was Excel or Vaz, and he called her like one of the 4 women of the apocalypse. And that was like pretty funny, and like it kind of made sense. It's kind of like, even though their win rates are like below 50%, they can still like absolutely make a game just not fun. Like just trying to fight them just absolutely not fun. But gladly I wasn't dealing with Camille. Yeah, unfortunately for her, she just could not budge past my MR. Like, I bet she was probably like frustrated that she could barely scratch me. Like, all I know is just basically my magic shield's not up. I just kind of just back off and then go in when it's ready. Yeah. But yeah, my strategy was I was just gonna focus on bot lane, because they're the ones who are like really making a dent against the enemy. So I just focused on them. And I'm pretty sure that's just like a valuable thing you want to like play as a roaming mid laner. You just want to like just focus on helping your strongest link in your team. Yeah, I think, but unfortunately, I feel that I think the Cal was just in her own like world, like she was just not connected to team. I mean, there were times where she did help, but I think that after a while, she just gave up.
Rampage.
Yeah, eventually get Jark shows, and I'm now building the Abyssal Mask, so I can further bolster my Enmesh resist. Because, as you may, I mean, glad you know, the majority of enemies here have AP. So, to me, it was like a good call for me to go mostly AP. But I do eventually start becoming as equally tanky in AD. Because you do pick up Sunfire Aegis after it. Because my main focus was to make sure that Akali and Diana, as well as Swain and Tristana, could barely scratch me with their AP attacks. Oh yeah, that's right. Lux ended up getting Herald. Didn't notice that, but that's, yeah. I mean, Lux was a phenomenal support. She was like, oh, Lux was phenomenal. Yep, we got her. Man, this, yeah, this Jinx was she was an absolute killing machine. Oh, that was nice. Yeah. That's another thing to remember, like, his shield, his taunt also does damage. Like, his Durant shield. Like, that's why it's, like, beneficial to max it out second, because it does a decent amount of damage when you max the charge. And yeah, and I was like, whoa, I killed her. I killed the Akali with my shield. I mean, when new season comes, I might just probably tweak maybe my APIs, but I don't know. Also, guess I was pretty happy with what I was doing, so I was like just sticking to my plan of mostly defenses.
Unstoppable. Red team has slain the dragon.
That poor Kale. I don't know what was Kale's deal. Like, she could have like probably just stayed behind and just supported us by doing damage. Like, I don't know. I think she just getting caught by herself. Oh yeah, that was a lucky ult. Infernal Galio. Yeah. That was good. I mean, she was pushing at least. But it's just unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, I now got your bezel mask. Yeah, I kind of miscalculated the drop. I mean, gladly, I think his Q and both his Q and W also does HP based damage. So you can kind of like just play him just purely tank. Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Like, she was trying, but I think that Kale probably could have benefited by helping one behind, so she could support and provide. Because her ultimate is like would have been a pretty valuable asset for a lot of cases. Which is unfortunate that she just comes in at pretty bad times. You know, like, you don't have to actually get kills to win games. Like, you can just play the role of backing up your winning teammates. And that's what I was doing. I was just backing up my team. Another drop. Oh yeah, unfortunately. Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't go as planned. But I'll give Kayle, it's one thing. At least she's like deciding to push other lanes. Because that is another thing that Kayle's good at. Is just pushing lanes when you leave them alone.
Red team is slain by Nash. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And I guess it's the only thing you can do if you're playing them. If you're playing them behind, you can't really do much. Alright. Fortunately my ult is down, but thankfully. Yeah, so I couldn't really go in. Ooh, that was a nicely timed one. Yes. Yeah, we had to give him the dragon.
Legendary.
We're overview to clear. Couldn't do much. Yeah, the only negative about his build is that you're very reliant on your teammates to do damage. So unfortunately, if your teammates is unfortunately just feeding mongrels, it just makes the build ineffective. But we did really well. And Kayle, I think she was doing her best. Neither late game part of the game.
Shut down.
Yeah, she got out. I think I did hit her, but she was still in the cover. Oh yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, she ends up burning. Yeah, Carly ended up burning her Zonya though. Thankfully I was paying attention to it. And now I'm gonna be building my Sunfire Aegis just to give myself that 80 tankiness, because the Tristana can be at times was a bit of an issue, because she can, if you don't pay attention to her, she can really turn games around with her steroid from a Q as well as her E and ultimate. Oh, this was an absolute, that was absolutely bowling. Yeah, I had to get out. Yep, that Camille. I had a really huge bounty. Like, I think eventually we did clean up bounty on her. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, this is mostly at the point where the KO just had enough. Like, she could not... I guess she just couldn't handle the amount of losses. And just quit. You were lucky that you got that, playing that bounty. But yeah, this is basically the last time Kale was in game and just did not come back. But thankfully for Tank Galio, we were able to keep the team in check. And the absolute snowballing of the bot duo. I was just gonna keep that wave in check. So this was planning to go to Baron. Unfortunately, our jungler wasn't really doing too well with objectives, but thankfully we did turn around by just having team fight wins. Oh yeah, this Jinx was a mad cannon. Yep, Diana is still... Kale is still disconnected. I mean, there's a fortunate thing about Kale, but I played Kale before, and I will say that she is a champion that requires a lot of patience to really succeed late. But that, to her, is a major weakness, is that... Well, she is strong, it's just that pre-6, she's like really weak until she gets her ultimate. But yeah. So anyway, I guess I was just looking around, just basically keeping an eye on my teammates. If they need me, I'll just ult in. While also just disengaging the enemies who run into me. But yeah, I get pretty unbelievably tanky. Like, it's unbelievable just how hard it is to kill me. I probably didn't really need to do that. Ult, but I guess anything can happen. Yeah, maybe I could have kept the ult for this part, and I would have probably like still survived. But thankfully, yeah. Nah, I told Jinx to back off because she wouldn't be able to like handle it on her own. She was way too low. And I'm pretty sure at one point I did advise Jinx just to play around me because I could easily catch him off with my dash and W.
Blue team's turret has been
And
destroyed.
she can just simply come in and just tear through them while I'm acting as the distraction. Ooh, yeah, you can't bring down this Jinx.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Alright, we're going straight to Elder. Now, I think a pretty amazing thing happened during the Elder camp. Yeah, I was sticking with Lux because I could easily help her when she catches enemies out.
Shut down.
Oh yeah, we turn this around.
Blue team double kill.
Now, I don't know what that was Master Yi's idea. Like, we decided to stay back at the dragon instead of following the E because I was kind of thinking, this dragon would be much more valuable at the moment than turret. Like, their jungler was down, and I was kind of confused of why Master Yi decided to go straight. I mean, he probably had an idea he wanted to bring down the lane. But in my head, I was kind of thinking it would be more valuable if he took down the dragon, so we'd have it. But it could have been a case because Jinx was not alive, and I guess he was just seeing if he can push it while Jinx is still dead, because I guess it would be much more, obviously, I guess in my head it would be much more valuable if Jinx also had the Elder Dragon buff. And luckily the jungler was, their jungler wasn't ready to reclaim it. So we eventually took Elder Drake, got buffs, and we just immediately turned around because, as you can see, I'm just too tanky. It's hard to scratch me. And we jumped in.
Blue team triple kill.
Oh yeah. Hi, Kale. And yeah, we just simply just... Oh yeah, red team won in surrender. I can see that.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
I got a feeling that after they lost Elder, they were like, nah, this is over. But look at me, I'm like over 4,000 health with defense and MR in the 200s.
Team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And that's it, that's over. And that was, yeah, that was amazing. That was Tank Galio. I could definitely see this becoming a more a thing in season 14, because the fact is that items are going to be less restrictive thanks to removal of mythics, and I got a feeling it will make we'll be getting more crazy builds. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm glad we're seeing more crazy, insane builds. But yeah, that was amazing. I hope you all enjoyed that.